skill development session number 4 with Saga Action Arts. I totally have to run upstairs and grab the curriculum. Abra, say hi to the lovely people.
Hello, lovely people. I'm going to set us up on the computer so we can see your comments. So please bear with me. Apparently this is just the place I'm going to be today.
Where did I put it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
If this would load, that'd be lovely.
Well, no one's here yet, so.
Yay. I mean, boo.
That is amazing list.
There we go. All right, we are getting ourselves all nice and ready, getting our list. You don't know where it is?
Just keep talking to people.
I'm gonna keep talking to the
yourself.
nobody that's here. How you doing? Oh.
No,
Hello, Josh. How are you today? Lag.
Guess I'll just have to go off of Brett's list. I don't know where it disappeared to. It's all good.
It's all good.
It's all good.
Thank you, Brett.
Thank you, Brett. I'll use tape in the future for it, I suppose. So, who we got in here today?
Right now we have Josh Lucas.
And Becca.
And
Oh,
Becca.
okay.
And I need to share this on my timeline anyways, so let me go ahead and do that real quick.
So if you saw our latest video, that's a little bit of a preview of what we're going to be going over today. Maybe not as intense as that, but we're going to get some of the basics from that. So if you saw our...
Oh, hi, Abra.
Yeah, hi.
Alright.
Granted, Becca and Josh are both pretty well trained, so you'll be able to keep up with that kind of stuff, no problem.
We're going to be reviewing the curriculum as well as developing new moves.
What he said.
What I said.
What he said.
What I said.
Exactly.
And exactly.
Exactly.
Give me 2 seconds. Be sure to talk to them about sharing.
Be sure to share this with your friends on your timeline. Message people. Throw it out there. Put it on Instagram. Put
Help
it on
us
Facebook.
build that community.
Help us build that community.
Share to your timeline. Because if you bring more people in, we're going to have more people to play with.
Yes. That is what we will have if you bring more people in. Me. I was going to say something and I was like, nope, should not say that.
Any reason this particular soundtrack?
Turn it down a little bit.
Dude, just got
Because
louder.
it's awesome.
Because it's epic.
Yep. I don't know, I was listening to it and I thought it was fun. Alright, mine is shared. Alright, cool. So,
Let's get started.
who we getting on session today?
We have a Josh and a Becca.
Josh and Becca. Let's wait till we get just 1 or 2 more people in and then we'll get going. So,
Wendy. We got a Wendy.
we got a Wendy, so that's 3. That's 3 in, so there's 5 of us playing today. We will be sending out emails very soon, giving more people more alerts to when these sessions are happening. Let's just keep going for now the way that we've been going. It's a lot of fun so far. Let's egg the I'm speaking
You're speaking
Swedish.
Sims.
Yeah, just want to see where the frame is before we start so that I know what I'm up to. And this will let me know what's up.
It will.
Alright. We promise we've got some really great stuff today. Yours
Or we
is
have nothing.
way behind me.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good in the hood. Come on! Oh, and then just so that everybody knows, I'm going to grab the audio link so that we can share it with everybody in case you want to listen along to the epic music that we have going on.
The super accurate music.
Music for today's or tonight's session.
Depending on when you're watching.
Alright, here we go. Alright, so let's get started. Tonight we're going to go through a very quick top-down check-in first. We're going to break that down into hopefully 5 minutes. And then we're going to go right into a rec flow drill that builds on action flow concepts that we've been working on for the last few sessions and create some really cool combo moves that you can do to make yourself look like a really awesome action hero. So, first things first, just start moving your neck. Get the neck moving however you need to. Stretch it out however you need to. Mine is almost fully recovered. This is the first time today that I didn't go, ow, my neck, since I woke up. So I'm still feeling a little bit sore, but I'm playing with it Trying to get it to come back. Remember, pull the shoulders down so you can stretch the neck out. Again, one of my favorite ones is to lower the shoulders and press through the base of the spine, thinking about it going up into the ceiling to stretch out the back of the neck where it connects at the shoulders. All right, when you're done with that, let's get into some shoulders. Roll them out, squish them together, pull them back, roll them backwards, whatever you need to do. And again, you can make big circles with your hands, pushing out however you want. You can follow along with me, you can follow along with Abra, you can do your own thing. It's your body, you're in charge of it right now. I'm going to stretch my arms, pull them across, because we're going to be definitely doing a lot of stuff that involves swinging and punching heavy tonight. All right, push forward, come up, whatever works for you. We have our chosen routines, but we're also just working on stuff. Move that rib cage, isolate it from your hips. If you can, turn sideways and hold it for a second. Come back, turn sideways, hold it for a second. Remember, I'm not moving my hips. I'm just isolating my waist. If you can isolate these two pieces, you're going to be able to do a lot more in terms of both performance and power generation. Let's get those hips going. Really just want to burn through this one today, get a nice little warm-up going. As soon as we get into the rec flow stuff, you're going to get a nice warm-up with the core and the back as we keep going. All right, now let's just do some hip hinges. Down into a skiing position, come back up, push with the hips, squeeze with the glutes, make it a nice big deadlift power move. Down, push up, down, push up, down, push up. And instead of pushing up, you really should be pushing forward, but you get the idea. All right, and then let's just do some hand squats. And what I mean by hand squats is just touch the ground best as you can into a Spider-Man pose and come back up. And if you want to, you can feel your fingertips pressing. And if you want to, you can start turning into a little hop. Just get a little bit of athleticism going, build up those feet, toes to the ground, and then toes connect as you're coming back down. Nice little Spider-Man hop. Awesome.
Also like a little frog.
A little froggy. Oh, look, it's a little froggy. Am I quoting Moulin Rouge? Did you notice that? I am quoting Moulin Rouge.
I guess you are.
Stretch kicks. Let's build up some stretch kicks. We're going to start by going with our forward stretch kick, our up and down straight ones. Hands in front of your face, feet together, step a little bit in place, kick, come back. If you need to switch in a different way of doing it, that's totally cool. Kick and come back. Toes should be pulled back to stretch the back of the leg. Posture should be straight up and down so that you're stretching through the back. This is an old Kung Fu exercise. You see a lot of Wushu practitioners also do something similar. Ours is a little bit more specific to traditional long fist Chung Chuang Kung Fu. All right.
We're working on active flexibility.
Active flexibility. Hands out. If Abra and I can make the space. Why don't you turn around so that they can make a... Yeah, there you go. So, outside crescent kicks or lotus kicks. You're going to go up through the center. You're going to try and clap your hands with your feet. Make sure that you're holding the arms steady the whole way through. You're not trying to reach with your hand. You're trying to reach your foot to your hand. If you cannot reach, still hold this posture and try and go for it. The idea is that you're going up to out, not going just out.
And what I like to say about this posture is you're kind of just making a T with your body and holding that T.
Hold that T. Hold the T, please. All right, it's good enough for now. And we'll do the insides on another night. We got one more minute of the top-down check-in. Let's do this. Since we need to work the lower back, down on your feet, down on your knees. And what I want you to do is just push back through the backs of the legs and just push back up off the ground. Just kind of come into a downward dog position. Open it up. Pull your head back, down through, tuck your chin to your chest, start curling. And then if you want to, you can rock forward. And just move around in this kind of direction a little bit because we're going to be curling ourselves into balls for some of the moves that we're about to do.
Yay.
All right. And I'm going to do one of my favorite moves that I was told I had to get good at in Kung Fu. I'm going to go from this position to standing. All right. If you got that, send us a video of it. I would love to see it.
After all these years, I still can't do it.
You'll get there. So, are we good for top-down check-in, Brett?
Yep, 5 minutes.
All right. Awesome. Let's move on. What's the next piece of curriculum on that little list?
S series, 1-4 defense.
No, we're in action flow.
Action flow?
Yes.
Can you
Rec flow. Rec flow.
Rec flow.
Let me see that paper. I'm so sorry. You are so right.
Oh.
We didn't write that down. Technical get up, sprawl roll, and toe touch down,
Hey,
hammer
Ted.
stick.
Hi, Ted Williams.
Hey, Ted. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into the action flow / rec flow part of the curriculum. We like to do this to build body awareness and also start helping you build your art of self-defense, where you're learning to protect yourself from your own stupid mistakes, such as falling, tripping, and, well, falling and tripping. So, first move that we're going to do today, Abra's going to quickly review a technical get-up. Can you just do it nice and simple, nice and, you can throw the kick in if you want, but let's just talk about just the get-up portion.
I can do it out the kick. Kick's coming up. If you kick, you can kick, you don't have to. As you're assuming that you have fallen, at this point you're posting on the same side hand as the foot that is being swept behind you, coming up, and sweeping that foot behind and moving back.
Right, so if she's down on the ground and we're trying to make distance, she's going to actively do her posture, don't even worry about the kick.
Yep.
She's going to put herself down and she's going to send herself backwards away from me. That little skip out is kind of this extra icing on the cake. If you want to do it as a basic tripod get up, as seen in like movement arts such as MoveNat or Animal Flow, I'm going to activate this hand, I'm going to push up into it, I'm going to take this foot, put it outside of me, kind of into a sumo position, and then use my deadlift hip hinge to raise myself off the ground. If I want to get back down, hands come down, kick through, lower myself, always try and activate the shoulders like we were doing in the morning routine this morning. So, let's have Abra just do 5 tactical get-ups, and then I'll do 5 tripod get-ups. Go, 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 go. Follow along. You can do it on whichever side works best for you today.
I'm going to alternate my sides.
No, stay on one side.
I'm going to stay on one side.
Just remind me what side you're staying on.
I'm on my right.
Abra's on her right.
I'm going to switch my angle for everybody. I've fallen.
So she'll do the tactical get-ups on her right, and then I'm going to do the tripod get-ups on my left. That way we can get 10 reps, and we can move on. And how many more?
That is my last.
It's the last one. Notice how she's slapping out, creating that little bit of a judo back fall. So I'm going to do my left side. So I'm going to turn and face the camera this way to start. I'm going to come up, hand on the ground, post up, foot comes through, deadlift hip hinge. Drop myself back down, post, drop through, come down. Post. I think that's 3.
You did 2.
2. Activate. Come up. Down. Up. I guess that would be 4.
Yep.
I don't want to make Brett have to keep counting our reps at this point. And that's 5. All right, now that we've got that basic move done, we're going to investigate, let me see that piece of paper real quick. We're going to investigate the next piece of the move. We're going to build up the sprawl roll. So we did something similar to this in the last SDS session. The sprawl roll, I want you to just get down to the ground, kick your feet back, plant into whatever knee is most comfortable for you, tuck, and this time when we go into our forward roll, we're going to try, if you have the space, to go all the way through. If you don't, you can do the half roll again. I'm going to demonstrate going all the way through. And then getting up. If you have the space in your house, drop back down, kick out however far you need to, plant one foot down, roll through, come up with a hip hinge, and you're good. So, do these along with me. Let's say 10 times, because we don't have a lot of space. I'll just demo these. How about I demo them 5 times, you demo them 5 times.
There.
All right, 5 times with me, then 5 times with Abra. Let's go, sprawl roll. So, I lower myself to the ground. I can be in a little froggy position. I can be in a deep squat. I kick my feet back as far as I have space for. I lower one knee to the ground, and I roll. And that's my 1. Drop down, kick out as far as I can, lower one knee to the ground, and that's my 2. Drop down, kick back, 3, drop down, kick back, 4, God, the space is so tight,
I know.
down, kick back, and 5. And if you can do these moves in a tight space like this, it's going to be really easy to do them in a larger space. Abra, you're up. I'm going to look at the chat, see who's in here. You go for your 5.
Knee up. I'm up in that figure 4 position, just for now. Again, not kicking the Dylan.
Do not kick the
Do
Dylan.
not kick the Dylan.
Not right now.
Not right now.
Maybe later.
Or earlier. That would be 2. I'm trying to alternate, but you do not have to if you do not feel comfortable. And that was till I feed. I apologize.
Don't apologize to it. It's another thing that you're capable of doing.
Yes.
Keep it tight, keep it tight. Don't go too far. Go, 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 go. And is that 5?
That's 4.
That's 4. One last one. One last one. Let's see what Abra's got. Let's see what Abra's got. Nice. So, I mean, it's probably because you're so crunched over there that it's harder for you to come in. We're at 5 minutes, so we're halfway through our rec flow series. Now let's talk about building in one of the recs.
Yay.
The next move that we're going to add to this, and we're going to combine all these, it's going to be really cool, into one combo, is going to be what I'm going to refer to as a candlestick. I wrote it down. A candlestick to toe touchdown. So this is going to be a little complicated, and if it's hard for you to manage, if your core strength isn't there, or if you have a shoulder injury, or your back isn't there, also if you only have like a concrete floor or something like that, and you're not wearing shoes, this is about getting your toes to the ground first. Rick Skeen, one of the stunt coordinators I trained under very early on in my career, he's middle Canada stunt coordinator, does like every 4th movie in every horror franchise. Amazing guy, really wonderful worker, stunt performer, stunt coordinator, and a great teacher. Had this wonderful thing to say about protecting yourself from falling in that kind of direction where your feet might be landing first or you're just flipping over. Toes hit the ground first. Toes find the ground. And then from there, you're going to land however you need to. But by getting the ball of the foot down first, you're protecting yourself by going up that chain of impact that can protect you. So, if we're going to be doing this, what we're going to do is we're going to do a candlestick, which is really just like an inverted sort of push to crunch sort of thing, and I almost went back into the computer.
Yeah.
I'm pushing myself up into the air, and I'm just going to come down. So that's just my candlestick. Let's just do 5 of those to warm up our bodies. I roll back, I train myself to kick the ceiling, and I roll back. 1, 2, 3. Notice how right now I'm putting my heels down first. That's not the technique that we're going for. This is more of a rolling technique right now. 4, and 1 more. 5. So now let's build the move to the toe touchdown. I'm going to go up into the candlestick position, let my toes start drifting forward, arch my back a little bit as if I'm doing a bridge, and fall toes first into this little bridge position, and then lower myself to the ground. So, if you have a little bit of trouble following along with that at home, you can go back into rolling into the candlesticks. Eventually, you want to work up to this. So I roll backwards, I kick up, toes go first, toes find the ground. You can also start training yourself to tuck your chin. That way you're protecting yourself in your back rolls and your back falls. Up, lower the feet, down. So I'm holding that core until the last second and demi-pointing my toes so that they hit the ground first. And that's going to also protect my lower back and my tailbone from hitting before the rest of my body.
You'll notice he's keeping his hips up when he's coming down.
Right.
As if you were doing a break fall.
One more tip, if you're following along and just kind of mimicking what I'm doing on a physical level, you might already be doing this. If you're not thinking about it, putting your hands to the side as if you're coming out of a back break fall is going to help you counterbalance this motion. So I can push into my fingertips to create a little bit of counterbalance before I land. So one more time on this, up and down. All right, Brett's giving us the 1-minute warning. It's going to take probably 3 minutes total to just get through this last exercise, but this is the combo that we're going to build. So now we're going to take all 3 moves that we did and combine them into one cool action flow, rec flow combo move. So, what we're going to do is we're going to start from our stand-up position, go into our sprawl forward roll, and then depending on how you come out of it, you're going to do one of 2 things, and we'll show you what those are. First things first, get down, go into your sprawl, knee comes forward, tuck through, hold that posture, throw the feet down first. That way you get into that position. Now from here, if I want to go back the way that I came, I'm going to lift myself up, go into my tactical get up, and get right back into position. So Abra, why don't you demo that 5 times?
Okay.
And just do it in the same direction so they can just follow along.
Yes.
Pick whichever side works best for you.
Alright, I'm going to do my right.
Yep.
Okay, good.
Rolls through, She toe touches. I'll make sure the mat doesn't
The mat
get too
doesn't
much.
slide.
All right, get to your tactical get up. Boom, and she goes back. Get off the mat real quick.
Yep.
I will slide it back in your direction.
Thank you, safety.
And then I will block it. Yes, safety. I hold the mats. You're up.
Down. Knee. Pull. Break fall.
Tactical get up.
Get
That's
up,
2.
and back.
3 more, and then we're going to go into the other alternative option that you have.
That's a
Excellent.
little bit late.
You're getting it there. It takes training. Don't expect to have it perfect the first time. I kind of just told Abra we were going to do this one tonight, but I really value what this is going to give you in terms of activating your lower back for a fall.
Even if you are trained, sometimes you mess it up.
2 more. Ah!
Kicking the stool.
Do not knock over the computer.
My computer.
Very nice. That was very active in the ball of the foot. Let's just give it one more. I
One
don't know if
more.
this is 4 or 5. I'm sure they already
It
did 4 or
is,
5.
yeah. Because we like to talk.
Boom. Excellent.
Let me get up.
Get up. Get out of the way. Last one that we're going to do, this is if you want to work both sides of the room. What we're going to do is we're going to roll over to prone position after the fall. So I'm going to have you move out of the, because I don't, no, I will kick you if you move
Okay,
there.
you want me
Okay, go there, just go there for now, because, let's finish this up. From the sprawl, you kick back into the sprawl, lower yourself to the ground, roll through, toe touch down, kick your legs down, roll to one side. Come back up however you feel is best for you. You can come back up in a tripod, you can come back up however you want. Now I'm on the other side. I lower myself to the ground, I kick out however far I can. I roll through, toe touch down, lower myself up, lower myself, and go prone. Push myself up like I'm coming out of a burpee or something like that. And we'll talk about it, get up from there at another time.
You're basically going through like a half pencil roll at
Yeah.
that point.
So prone is just going from my chest is up in a supine position, and now it's down to the ground. So check that out, play with that. We're not going to do any more reps of that tonight. That's a move that I would love to see. I would love to see you guys performing those combos and sending them into us. Let's see what you got. Brett, how are we doing for time?
Well, that was 12 and a half minutes.
Not bad, not bad. 12 and a half for something complicated that we added a lot of material to.
Yes.
What do we got up next?
So it depends on which one you want to do next. There's
S-series.
S-series 1 to 4 defense.
All right, so S-series, we're going to very quickly review as a workout, 1 through 9. Abra, I'll just have you hold the mitts for me.
Got it.
And then we'll talk about our defenses for 1 through 4. So we're building up the S-series, and we can leave the black mat down for now. I'll try not to move too much. If both of us are standing on it, it might be okay.
We'll see.
We will see. So, again, S-series is our striking series. It's our kickboxing set. We primarily start in a left lead because that's the orthodox position. A lot of people are right-handed. Some people are left-handed. I am left-handed, but I do everything that I start with right-handed because I know that's where the work is to begin with. Then I try and learn everything on my right hand. So orthodox just means left foot forward so that your jab, your lead punch is your left hand, your cross, your rear punch is your right hand. Your lead leg kick is your left leg, and your rear leg kick is your right leg. Let's go through S-series combos 1 through 9. We're going to go through the whole pattern 3 times. Do your best to keep up. We'll break it down a little slowly, but we intend to get through a lot of material tonight. And hopefully most of you at home have already done this set before, so it's just your responsibility to start practicing the material so that you can go through it at our pace as well. But of course, if you need to take a break, take a break.
But that is also why we do have the videos up, so you can always go back and review.
Yeah, and I believe there's an S-series combo video on Instagram, on IGTV, that breaks down most of the combos in 10 minutes. That's a clip that you can just go right to. So, combo number 1, jab, rear roundhouse kick. Combo number 2, cross, lead roundhouse kick. Combo number 3, rear kick, jab. You call out the number.
4.
Lead kick, cross. You call out the number.
5.
Lead punch or your jab, lead kick.
6.
Cross, rear kick.
7.
Lead kick, jab.
8.
Come a little bit closer. Rear kick, hook. Hook, cross.
Yeah.
All right?
Want to do it again?
Doing that? No, we're just going to go through these.
9.
9 is lead kick, cross, hook. All right? Let's go for our second set. This is just to warm up our body for kickboxing. Remember to focus on your pivots, keeping your guard up, and getting full extension. This is a Sabat style kicking set. So,
1.
jab, rear kick,
2.
cross, lead kick.
3.
Rear kick, jab,
4.
lead kick, cross.
5.
Jab, lead kick,
6.
cross, rear kick.
7.
Lead kick, jab,
8.
rear kick, hook, cross.
9.
Lead kick, cross, hook. I'll turn around, do it from the other side if that helps other people out here for the 3rd rep. And we'll talk about what this all adds up to at the end of this. So, call it out.
1.
Jab, rear kick.
2.
Cross, lead kick.
3.
Rear kick, jab.
4.
Lead kick, cross.
5.
Jab, lead kick,
6.
cross, rear kick.
7.
Lead kick, jab.
8.
Rear kick, hook, cross.
9.
Lead kick, cross, hook.
Nice.
All right, thank you for that.
Of course.
Here's the really cool thing about S-Series. If you memorize, or you just work through combos 1 through 9, you get 7 combos that are 2 beats, and 2 combos that are 3 beats, adding up to a 20-beat fight. So you are doing a 20-beat combo every time you do the S-Series 9 count. It's really useful because if you can memorize 20 beats of choreography, you're about halfway to doing a long-form choreography set, which is usually 40 to 50 moves. So if you want to do those single-take sections of a fight scene without getting doubled, or if you're a stunt performer, this is the level that you need to get up to. You need to be able to memorize up to 40 moves at a time. With that said, we're going to talk about the defenses now so that you can start building it in a choreographed sense. This is also very applicable to combat sports training. We've talked about this a little bit before, but if Abra throws her jab at me and I hold it, throw it to here, I'm holding this as if it were a mitt right now, but if she was to throw it to me and try and hit me in the head, pop, she's aiming for true target. We don't aim for parrot punches unless we're stacking a hit for choreography. We train to aim for true target, because if she punches here, I can just move my head off the side, and I should be practicing my head movement. If she aims for here, I can move my head off to the side. It's not the best place to put it, but again, I'm practicing my head movement. We don't want people, she throws the punch and I don't move my head unless I'm using that to break her hand.
Yes.
Yeah, which is a very great destruction in Filipino martial arts and Krav and all these things. But if we want to create that fun Hong Kong style choreography where we're blocking and exchanging, we have to learn defenses. So instead of Abra throwing the jab and me knocking it way out of the way, because then that's going to break up the rhythm of the fight, let's get a little bit closer so that they can see what this looks like.
Yep.
Instead of her throwing the jab like that, hold on one second, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a catch. A catch. And a catch is just basically like using your hand like a catcher's mitt, catching a baseball. I'm going to curl my fingers a little bit, activate through the fingers so that I protect them, treat my hand like a mitten. So even if you're wearing a boxing glove, you can catch. And it's really great because what it does is that when she throws that jab, I'm moving my head out of the way and I haven't left distance, which means I can get my counter off. So this is a really practical tool to have. It allows you to play with different timings of countering. It also allows you to move, protecting yourself with your hands and shoulders. I'm keeping this hand down, I shouldn't do that. So now I'm really guarded. So if someone throws a jab at you, that's the lead hand punch, you're going to catch it flat to your body so that you are replacing your head with your hand. And you're going to look off to the side. I like to go to the outside of the arm. The reason why I like that is that now all of this is open, I'm away, I can counter kick.
It's harder for me to...
It's harder for her to do a follow-up. She throws it again, I can counter punch like I was saying, and I'm still in distance because my lead hand is close. And the other reason is that if I block here and I move my head here, boom, she can hit me with that counter cross. Let's look at that real quick, just from this position. She fires her jab, and I'm going to hold it here just so that you guys can see what we're talking about. My head comes off to this side. If she throws her jab, and my head goes off to this side, I'm now in the path of her cross.
Thanks.
Not good for me. So, let's just have you do this at home. Imagine when we say jab, that you catch. You move your head, and you catch. So we'll say jab, and we'll do that 10 times. So, how about you show it for the camera because you have really wonderful head movement.
Oh.
Play it with them.
All right.
I'm going to throw the jabs towards the camera. They can either pretend to be you or they can pretend to be me. Actually, turn around. Do the Xbox Live thing. Stand right in front of me. I'm going to throw the jab, and you guys are just going to shadow Abra. So remember, if I'm throwing my left hand, it's her right catch, and she's covering her face. So I'm going to come over here a little bit, turn that way. Ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That little pivot that we're giving, if you're doing this for fight choreography purposes, this is what's telegraphing to your partner. So you don't have to do a big wind up back here and throw your shoulder out of alignment and hurt yourself when you punch. You can just, she holds that position, I throw the jab, and she catches it. Just hold that last position. Hold that last position. Good. Let's do 10 more so that you can see it from this side. And when I throw that jab, I'm going to retract each time as if I was throwing a real punch. Because when you throw a real punch, you very rarely ever just stay here. So, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Once you start doing actual combo training, you are going to want, very much so, to not do it at a regulated rhythm.
Yes.
You're going to want to change it up a bit. Brett's telling us we've got 1 minute to go. So today, we're just going to work on combo number 1. It's the best that we've got. Abra's going to do her block for my rear leg kick. Left leg forward. Yep, you got it. To block the rear leg kick, this is the kick that's coming in. If she was holding it as a mitt, I would just go right to it. The difference here is that she's got her guard up.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw my kick. She's going to put her hands there to block. I'm going to throw my kick. She's going to block. This is sometimes referred to as parry in opposition. You're creating a barrel shape with your hands. And if you look at my Everlast mitts, the wording is upside down. They are running opposite of each other. And you give it a little bit of a pop so that you can add some resistance to it. Plus, it's going to make a nice sound, especially on stage. But it will also help when you're editing the Foley in on camera. So, I'm going to throw my rear leg kick, and she blocks it. I bring the knee up, and she blocks
And
it.
also notice I am moving away, but at the same time actually turning my center towards him.
Yep, we're going to wrap this up in just a second. What Abra means when she's saying that too is that, hold that pose. She's giving the kick her stomach and moving her rib cage out of the way. We don't want to put your arms up, twist, now untwist, just hold that. We do not want to kick each other in the rib cage if we can help it. So if Abra even misses the block but twists and gives me her tummy, then I can kick her in the stomach where the muscles are. At least it's a little bit better. Plus she's moving her core with the kick so it gets out of the way. So all I'm going to do is throw my rear leg kick, boom, and reset. Kick and reset. So just play along with her 10 times. Ready?
Do you want to face that way?
Follow along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So, just so that we can stay somewhat on schedule, we'll just break this down for combo 1, and then we're going to move on into our Saga 9 weapons template stick fighting series.
You can still apply this to many of the other combos as well.
If you discover how they work, please shoot us a video, and we'd love to see what you come up with. So, Abra's going to stand right here. I'm going to throw combo 1. I throw my jab, and then I throw my rear leg kick. I throw my jab, and then I throw my rear leg kick. I throw my jab, and then I throw my rear leg kick. Let's present it just a little bit. She catches, she parries in opposition, protecting herself from my rear leg kick. So I jab, and I kick. She catches, and she blocks. I jab, and I kick. She catches, and she blocks. So if she was just to shadow this, it would look like this. Jab, block, jab, block,
Now should I face you?
jab, block, jab, block. Give them a little bit more twist on that block. Do 3 more times facing the camera. Jab, block. There we go. Jab, block, and jab, block. Hold that! This coil is what's going to look really great if the camera's over here. It's going to allow you to present your face, show off that intensity, and if you're all of a sudden blocking this thing, you can do the Jackie Chan, oh my gosh face, and block it. So, figure that out if you can for combos 2, 3, and 4. I know everybody out there is really smart and ready to go, but for now, that's going to be our S series. We worked the jab catch, and we worked the rear leg block. They can't figure it out because we didn't teach them the cross parry.
It's a parry.
It's a parry.
If you know what a parry is, then you know what the cross
Just do number 1,
is.
or do moves with jab. Moving on.
If you are a bit ahead and you know some of those defenses, go ahead and work them.
Maybe if we actually speed through this and we get to the end of the session on time, we'll talk about the cross cover, so stick around. So, let me see that list. What's on it next? Because what I write makes no damn sense to anyone except for me. Saga 9, review angles 1 through 6. So, Abra, if you could do the connect pose.
Yes,
So follow along with Abra, or look at me, depending on what you need. Here, I'll come over here so that Abra can be on this side of the camera this time. So, I'm going to do my angle 1. It's my right side to my left side, open to close. I'm going to do my angle 2. I'm raising it up. I'm turning it around, close to open. Those are your 2 upper strikes. Angle 3, I flip it behind myself. I go from open to close. Notice how I'm pivoting through each strike. Angle 4, I lower it down. I flip it over just like angle 2. Close to open. I lower it to my hip. I keep it on the horizontal. Notice how the tip of the stick is still pointing in the direction of where I'm going. I flip it over, and now I cut across. That's angle 5. Flip it over, open up back the other way on the same horizontal path, basically bisecting yourself at the waist, open it up for angle 6. So, let's do this set 3 times, 1 through 6, and then we're going to add tonight angles 7, 8, and 9. We're going to give away the whole set. So, angle 1, get ready to prep. If you don't have a stick, grab a tube of paper towel roll, grab whatever you got, and just keep up with us. Ready, and angle 1, raise it up, flip it over, angle 2, flip it over, angle 3, lower it down, flip it over, angle 4, lower it to your hips, flip it over, angle 5, flip it over, angle 6, you already flipped it over.
I know, I tend to do that.
Bring it back to your shoulder, 1, raise it up, 2, so you can break it down, flip it back, 3, drop it down, 4, drop it down, 5, flip it over, 6, put it to your shoulder. We're just going to do the numbers now without saying the breakdowns. Do your best. If you get a little wibbly wobbly, always just remember to activate your forearm, try and create that little Popeye muscle, keep that 90-degree angle for as long as possible from the stick to your hand. Ready? Angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4, angle 5, and angle 6. Let's do one more set real quick just like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The way that we're doing these right now are very technical and broken down. If Abra stands to the side a little bit so that I can show this off. Show it off so that I can demonstrate this. Demonstration and showing off is the same thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do it just a little bit more fluidly so that you can understand that it's a weight shifting training exercise. And now we're going to go into 7, 8, 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you would go into 7, 8, 9. Last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Notice how I'm pivoting and shifting my weight with the stick. So now let's talk about angles 7, 8, and 9. So you've just done 2 X's and a horizontal line back and forth. 7, angle 7, is our really first and only thrust in the original template. And so basically once you've finished with 6, you bring the stick to your hip, you step forward into either a half lunge or a full lunge, you turn your hip, and you fire that 7 angle straight down the pipe. I like to keep my hand vertically oriented like this. I don't do the curl up that Guru Ryan Stoops teaches in the Inasana Lacoste Kali system, but I'm doing this because I'm thinking about pushing it off the hip, and it's just a way to get a nice little body check thrust If it's a stick, it's still a useful technique, and it can become a lot of other things. If you're a fencer, it's going to feel like a full extension, and you can always bring it back in or work it out to full range. So, from angle 6, I'm opening across my body, I'm stepping my feet together, and then I'm going to push into that thrusting position. Try not to overextend your body weight to the point where you're lunging too far right now. That'll come a bit later. Try and create a structure.
You still want that strong forearm.
You still want the strong forearm as best as you can. It might not be a 90-degree angle anymore, but it shouldn't be coming out like this. There should be still a straight wrist structure. Eventually it could point for the eyes, but we're not going to do that right now. So if Abra faces me and fires her angle 6, yep, open the door, and she sets in for 7, and then she steps to thrust at me, that's her following the 7 line. It's a straight line thrust out from the center. So if you were to draw a diagram, which we're still going to put on the wall, it would be the point of an asterisk in the center. Brett says we're at 5 minutes in, so that's really good. We're actually getting through this on time.
Look at that.
So when you do angle 7, that little piece of footwork that we were doing, Brett, if you could kind of like come down here and show what I'm about to show. It can still be in the wide, of course. Once I go through that 6, my feet are opened up because I pivoted open. If you've done any stage combat or any little bit of fencing, at least in stage combat it was called this, I could be really wrong on the fencing side of things because I haven't traditionally fenced. What you're going to do is you're going to step your feet together and then push off. And I've been told that's called a balestra. Essentially, feet are apart, feet come together, feet go apart again.
I think balestra's a little bit more jumpy, but...
It is a lot more jumpy. It's essentially...
Yeah.
But you can work up to that, but it's a very similar gather step to extend. So if Abra stands here, why don't you face that direction so that they can see the footwork side of your body?
Where am I facing?
Face that wall.
Okay.
All right, show us 6 to 7.
Okay.
6, gather step, 7. Come step back just a couple more feet. Ready, 6, gather step, 7. Pivot that hip into it. So make sure that when you do this thrust, if Abra thrusts at me, I want her to pivot her hip. Turn your shoulders, turn your core back towards facing me. This isn't bad, but we want to train that hip drive into the thrust. Plus, this is going to look really pretty on camera or on stage. She steps back, she does her 6, and she loads her 7. And that also allows us to get that little bit of extra hip pivot, similar to punching and kicking. It allows us to telegraph in a safe, martial way where we're not losing any energy by just stepping forward with it. I can pivot and fill with a coil. So you can change it up however you need to, but this is going to allow you to create that really cool coiled energy into the thrust. So now that we have that down, let's have Abra do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we'll add 8 and 9, and we'll go through those as quickly as we can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, gather step to 7. All right, do it from the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, gather step to 7. Do it facing the camera. Ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, gather step to 7. Now do it facing away from the camera. Slow it down a little bit on this rep so that everybody at home, if they're a little bit lost, can follow along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, gather step to 7. So, Abra's going to do that facing away from the camera 3 times, and I'm going to do it as well. That's how we're going to add angle 7 in. If we don't get to 8 and 9 as soon as we want to, we will try and at least get to 8, I promise. So, ready? Together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, gather step to 7. 2 more times. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, gather step to 7. Last time, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, gather step to 7. Now let's talk about creating angle number 8. Angle number 8 is our up to down line. So we've got 1 more minute on this track, so we might end up going 2 minutes over, but that's still better than we've done on any other video so far. So, Probably should stop announcing these little, oh, we should go for
Maybe,
time.
yeah.
Treat it like actual public access television instead of Wayne's World right now. So, once I'm done with my 7, can you step out of the way just for a second?
Yes.
Once I'm done with my 7, because I've extended my hip, I'm going to retract it back to that forward stance. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a guard. So, in order to create that guard, you're seeing the inside of my wrist. Now you're going to see the back of my wrist. And I'm going to pull back. So if Abra was to punch me with the stick right here, I've got my straight line against her straight line. So if she was doing that as like a stick jab, I've blocked. So if I go for 7, she knocks it out of the way, and she goes for her stick jab, I've just protected myself. So this is kind of like your first guard, and it's the intermediary step to getting angle 8. We're going to definitely get angle 8 right now. We're going to roll through it in about a minute. So, from this guard position, Abra, if you can just mirror me from right there. From this guard position, your right foot's forward. If you're in your right lead, your right hand's up, protecting your head. All you're going to do is you're going to pivot again, turning the hip just as it was for angle 7. You're going to flip the stick over, trying to keep it as flat of a line as possible, cut down, and bring it behind you. We're not going to do the footwork just yet. So, from our 7, turn that wrist over, drag your foot back, turn your hip, cut that wheel. In Filipino martial arts, this circular cut is called a redondo. Redondo.
It's a lot of R's.
Redondo.
It's just one R.
It's 1 R, it's redondo. So, ready? Just go from 7, flip the wrist over, drag the foot a little bit. You're doing a nice little trap stance step. Turn the hips, flip the stick over. I want you to see the path of the line. If I was to do angle 1, it would come out here, go from open to close. Angle 8, it's staying on that completely vertical path. So you're pretty much cutting somebody from crown to groin.
Crown cut.
So if Abra was to stand right in front of me, I'd be trying to bop her on the head, not on the side of the head, and not on the side of the head, straight down. So I thrust my 7, I raise my 8, and I turn it over so it goes straight through. I'll show you guys that from one more angle.
You can show the sword too.
We'll show that another time. Abra thrusts her 7 at me, I parry it, I go for that 8, and she can block it. We'll talk about more of that later. It's very much a saber cut. Because we don't want to go too far over time, we will add angle 9 in, which is a fairly complicated angle. We will add it in on the next session, but now you have 7 to 8 to play with. I love this combination. I love thrusting and then coming down. Lots of practical application. Definitely something that you could use in dog brothers martial arts or any other stick fighting system. I think I tried to play with it a bit when I was in the Philippines when I was doing my live stick fights. But it also gives you a lot of range to play with. So build up 1 through 8, show us what you got, and we'll get back to it on the next session. So sticks down, get some water, take a break for a second. I'm going to look at the video feed, and I'm going to also look at the curriculum.
Oh, Brian.
We're going to have to do
Okay,
evens
right.
and odds in the next video for sure.
Okay, yeah.
All right, Saga CQC, we're going to do knife burst defenses. So, we have our amazing knives from
SNR Tactical.
SNR Tactical, who we will be getting more gear from soon, hopefully. I just got to get back to the email with
Yes,
them.
you do.
These are really freaking cool. They have this nice little sci-fi action hero look to them. They're very safe, and they have a great grip. They work for double-sided, and if you need to do a single-side knife, just tape up one side if you're having trouble knowing which side is which. So, and of course we love the blue because... So, what we're going to do real quick is we're going to talk about angles 1 through 4 with the knife, but we're going to also talk about angles 1 through 4 with the knife with the reverse grip, or point down, or in Filipino martial arts, pikal. So,
Or Psycho Grip.
psycho grip, psycho killer. Kiss say, let's move on so the bread doesn't kill me. So, if you were to hold the knife point tip forward, you can use an index with your finger to add to the slashing motion. This would be slashing with the knife, angles 1 through 4. Same exact lines as your Filipino martial arts stick fighting in Saga 9. I prep, 1, I bring it up, 2, I turn it over, 3, I drop it down and flip it over, 4. So, Let's go through this one more time, and I'm going to explain in extra detail. Prep, 1, up, 2, flip it, 3, drop it, flip it, 4. Your knife, my computer's dying, your knife is a shorter weapon than your stick.
You don't say.
So, whereas with the stick, we can swing big and wild, I don't want to do that with a knife because I'm not going to actually be using it for any practical purpose. My knife is designed, can you put yours down for a second so I don't accidentally stab myself? Sorry, SNR. Your knife is designed to be small and quick, and this is where you're going to be tapping and trapping. We'll get into that at another point, but you don't want your knife to go really big and wide unless the character that you're portraying is all over the place. So, I'll throw this back to you. When we do angles 1 through 4 with the knife, I want you to imagine keeping the lines in the rectangle, square, triangle, circle, whatever,
and the box
of your own torso, your own box right here. So, prep for angle 1, 1, up, 2, I'm barely moving my arm, 3, drop it, flip it, 4.
You still have that pivot though. You still want this body mechanics involved.
Absolutely. You want to get that pivot trained into every move that you do so that if you don't want to use it, you can take it out, but you always have it available. We'll talk more about that at another point. The last thing, speaking of points, the last thing that I want to talk about is that when I prep my angle 1 and I cut, look at where this lands for the end of my angle 1. In Filipino martial arts, every cut can become a thrust if you keep the edge and tip alignment towards your target. So I cut and I thrust. If I go for angle 2, I cut and I thrust. If I go for angle 3, and this is a little bit of an exaggeration right here, it would probably just be really tight like that. I cut and I thrust, I lower, I flip, I cut and I thrust. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, you already have a ton of mechanics to work with. Now that you have that, let's flip the knife over. And let's talk about thrusting and then cutting. So, now I've got the tip pointed forward. So this is now my Pakal grip, this is my point down, psycho killer, kiskase, super awesome, fun, crazy person grip. This is what the bad guy always uses in every movie. I'm just going to treat it like a hammer fist. My hand does exactly what it's been doing with the stick. It just comes down, but now I'm striking and stabbing with the point. It comes up, goes down for angle 2. This is the most awkward angle in the series. It opens up, cuts up for angle 3. There's a purpose to this. You will not use it often, but it is practical in some ways. Lower it down, flip it over. Angle 4 is way easier than angle 3. Raise for angle 4. So, prep for 1. 1, raise it up. 2, flip it over. 3, drop it down, point it forward. 4. Abra, if you can get a little bit closer to the camera, just so that we can see what that looks like. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. Prep. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you're ever wondering in this grip what you need to be doing, yes, we can always do, in terms of your edge and point alignment, yes, I can always have the point back here, do one of these cool ninja slashes, but if you're going for this grip, you're probably going to be stabbing first, so you typically want the tip forward to go first and then slash on the way out. We can build on that concept at a later date, but for right now, stab, 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 stab.
And in fact, if you were stabbing to the target and not slashing through, it would just be stab, yank out, hit myself in the head, stab, and
stab. Now for 3 and 4 with the knife, the last thing that we're going to talk about, because it's going to directly apply to what we're going to be doing in our CQC knife fighting training right now, which is going to be some burst defenses. When you're doing 3 and 4, especially if you're working with a partner or you're developing it for choreography, if you're standing up tall and you're trying to angle up for angle 3, it's going to be really uncomfortable for your elbow, and it's also just not going to generate any power. It's not going to do a whole lot. Maybe if it's a prison shanking situation, you can just get through it like that. But we want to try and ride that line. So you actually want to treat it like an uppercut. We haven't done any uppercuts in S-Series yet, but if you're familiar with any boxing, you want to pivot and fire up. You don't want to just loop your arm. So we're going to do the same principle for 3 and 4. I'm going to dive deep and raise up with that pivot. So now I'm trying to come under the rib cage or over the hip, or, this is going to be easier for you than me, go up into the thigh. tilt that angle up just a little bit more, so you gotta get just a little bit deeper.
Like a
Yep, just like that. So she's either trying to get under the rib cage, thrust up and in, or she's trying to get into the thigh. Try and bring your elbow in and corkscrew into it. Yeah, it's awkward as heck,
It is awkward.
but there's a reason to do it. Now, when you do number 4, same thing to the thigh. She's raising up. See how that line is actually a little bit more
Nice.
angular, natural. The point is that it's coming in at a diagonal, just like 3 and 4. 3 and 4. So, I'm going to put my knife down,
I'm going to keep mine.
and we'll do this with the mitt. Let's do it with the mitt.
Okay.
I was going to put a mitt on her other hand.
No reactions.
No reactions for just yet. We'll talk about those later. So what we're going to do is we're going to train the burst defenses for someone attacking you with a point-down knife. Now, bursting is really more of Abra's thing. It's from Krav Maga. If you wanted to give an example of what a burst means right off the top of your head.
You're basically you're taking away the energy of the strike while driving into the person, essentially, is how I say it.
It's a simultaneous defend and counter.
Yes.
Right, so when Abra does the stab with angle 1 with the knife hand, I'm going to frame out, like we were talking about in all of our other CQC, 360 block, especially in the Krav Maga that Abra does. And then, in order to make it a bursting counter, I'm not going to just block and just wait for her to do whatever. I'm also going to fire a counter at the same time. So, one way to do this would be she cuts, I block, and then I throw my punch. Great for choreography, definitely a way to play with it. But if you want to get into self-defense land, or if you want to get into martial application land, she throws that stab, and I hit at the same time. So it's a burst because she could be stabbing me from across the room, and I'm just going to jam my hand into her face while protecting myself from that knife. Now, hopefully, in a self-defense situation, and of course I pray to God you never get into any situation like this at all, but times they are changing.
But hey, such a nice thing.
Anyways, what I'm saying is you have to make some sort of contact, and then you can play to start taking more out of it. The goal, like she was saying, is to take the energy away from the attacker. So for the angle 1 counter, all we're going to be doing is if I'm in a left lead, I'm going to block with my left hand, and I'm going to cross, depending on the range of the attack. If I'm in a right lead, like let's say that I had a knife and I'm just in Filipino martial arts mode, or I'm in Jeet Kune Do mode, I'm still going to block with the hand on the same side, and I'm still going to strike with the hand on the opposite side. So I'm going to do a jab. Or, if you're in Jeet Kune Do land, the straight lead. Powering that fist through, vertical, horizontal, I don't care. Take something out while you block.
And you can also work this from a neutral stance and step into it.
So she stays there, and she thrusts at me.
Randomly, yep.
And that's what we're looking for. We're going to add angle 2, and then we might add angle 3 and 4. So, if Abra's still standing there, because we don't want to change it up too much for everybody at home, we don't want to kind of throw them off, she fires angle 2 now. Okay, so demonstrate angle 2 just to the camera, just so that they remember. Angle 2 is coming from across the body, it's closed to open, and she's targeting a thrust to either my neck, or my shoulder, or my arm. Probably no lower than that, then it would become an angle 6, and again, this is the thing for another day. When she fires that strike, I'm blocking now with the same side hand, the right hand. Yes, this is going to hurt your forearms just a little bit. Better to use your forearm. If you're doing this for stage combat or film, muscle meets bone or muscle meets muscle is a little bit safer. But again, if you want to condition nice and strong forearms, practice with your partner if you have one, or become aware of this, that you can train it a little bit light, and you can start working on building that energy. She can come in a little bit, I can absorb it a little bit more, or if I'm attacking, I can push it a little bit more. It all depends on what type of energy you're trying to build.
And the idea with Krav too is, yes, it can hurt as the person defending, but it's going to hurt the person who is coming at you more. So that's part of the idea with it. It's a block and strike at the same time.
You are countering their aggression with more aggression.
Yes.
You're overwhelming them. It ain't Tai Chi. So, Abra throws that number 2. Boom! I block it. Now, it's going to be harder for me to reach over this line and hit the head, and it's definitely going to be harder for me to hit that mitt all the way across. So, she can hold it like this across her belly, flip your hand, like that. And because the high line is covered by both of our arms, I'm going to go for the lower line. So when I burst on this line, I'm turning my body and I'm corkscrewing, firing that cross if I'm in my right lead. So I'm going to hit, and then now I've got the blade on the outside, and I can take apart my opponent however I need to. And again, this is beautiful for choreography. She comes in, boom, and I hit like that. Great angle, great setup. Build that power, throw that core. If you're going to do it with your left lead forward, same thing. Boom, now I'm opened up to camera even more, which can be really nice and hot. And then I've got all this to play with to go into grappling, stripping, more hits, John Wick mode, up the wazoo, whatever we want to do with it. So, angle 1, step, block with your left hand, punch with your right into the high line. This is from the open position. So if I turn like this, Abra's guard her line is open, and I'm filling that line. If she's doing angle 2, Abra's guard, her line is closed, it's coming to open, and I'm crossing into that line and striking it from the outside. So, do the defenses and shadow me. 1. And let's do 1 again. 1. And let's do 1 again. 1. Let's do 1 again. 1. And let's do 1 again. 1. You're just doing that. It's just that. Go for it. Hit them hard. If you want to, you can poke them in the eye.
Yes, you can.
Number 2. Abra's coming from that closed line. I'm blocking up. Boom, I'm driving in. So 2. Step over here just a little bit. She strikes. 2. She strikes. 2. She strikes. 2. And she strikes 2. Notice how on that last rep, I intentionally moved to the outside. You should always be trying to move outside of the line of a weapon, because if you can get to the opponent's back, you can do more to them, you can protect yourself, and now there's very little they can do to you. Even if I'm holding it here, if she tried to switch her grip without the mitt on, I'd be able to stop her from doing that, hit her in the face, whatever I want to play with, joint locks. You have to tenderize somebody before you're going to start manipulating their arms, at least that's my opinion. So, we could go into 3 and 4, but again, we're running a little over time. Don't worry about that for right now. But we can talk, let's talk at least about the blocks for 3 and 4, we won't talk about the counters. For angle 3, this is really simple. Block low, lower yourself to the block. Now the problem is, of course, is that she's got that rear hand, so make sure you have a cover as you block. For angle 4, you're on the outside, so that cover isn't as necessary, but have your hand up because now you can counter with your cross. 3 is a little bit more complicated, so let's just talk about 4 in that regard. She goes for that, stab to my thigh, I can do that counter cross. Now I can go into my strips and everything like that from this position, just like we were doing in the video that we used to promote tonight's session. All right, and that's it for our Saga CQC tonight. We're going to wrap that one up. We'll do 3 and 4 maybe later at another time, maybe add 5 in. And now what do we got? We got, what's on the list?
After knife, it's Q&A.
Q&A! So what time is it?
It is...
8 o'clock!
And Brian has like 3 questions.
Oh my god, Brian has questions.
Brian has questions.
So let's bring the tablet, computer, laptop thing over here. We're going to go through Q&A. I know we sped through this tonight, everybody, but we really want to deliver the content effectively, and sometimes it means I got to cut my chitter-chatter. Abra's an amazing partner to be working with on this. We've been practicing this curriculum for we've been developing it for 2 years. We've been practicing the curriculum as it is for the last year. And Abra was down in DC, I was up here training with all the clients, so we just have to constantly get together and just bang it out rep by rep. But you can learn it too at home, whether you have a partner or you're by yourself.
Yeah, you're no good partner.
Thanks. So let's scroll back through some of the questions, or if Brett would like to ask any of them for us.
Well, so Brian's were a little bit, there were a couple sentences, I can't see the full question.
Got you. So we'll just go, oh right, because you're looking through the camera. That's why we got to get to your computer. I'm enjoying this, and I got a shout out a few minutes ago. You have learned something from me. Seriously, I like this template a lot.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian. We've learned a lot from you.
We have learned a lot
and
from
we
you.
love giving it back.
And we're going to go through your online courses probably tonight and tomorrow.
Is the guard from angle 7 or 8 first on your forehand side and finishes on your backhand side, or is it always your backhand side? If you're talking about Saga 9 with the stick, when I am doing 7, I can either turn the backhand. Well, I'm always going to turn the backhand for this block across.
Yeah.
And again, if I can't answer this question clearly, I'll move on. Guard from angle 7 to 8 on your backhand side and finishes on your backhand.
He's thinking of this as the guard of 7, I think.
Oh, this one or this one? Oh, so yeah, if you're talking about 7 either being here or here, context, situation, Bruce Lee shiz. I prefer doing it this way, depending on what the next angle is going to be, but if this is going to be your next, you can absolutely take it here and roll the 8 to the other side. So we don't, just like you, we don't call it 8A, 8B. It's just, you can do your angle 8 on either side, whatever works best for you. I'm going to turn down the music now. This is closer to the bub. So, I hope that answers that question. Brian's question number 2. Do you work angles 5 through 8 with the knife, either point up or point down? Yes. Also, I just taught for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying NT teaching.
Not teaching, I'm assuming.
Not teaching and just learning right now? Okay. So my questions are real questions because I'm in student mode and I want to understand more deeply. Again, great block of material. Yes, everything that you can do with a point up or a point down, whether that's with the stick or the knife, just consider it the same way you would consider any Filipino martial arts system where the goal is to get good in all modalities. You want to figure out how it would work in that way. Now that isn't to say that angle 5 with a knife, Abra, can you just kind of come over here? I'll move this out of the way just a little bit. That isn't to say that an angle 5 with a knife is super duper practical in most ways. If I'm trying to stab someone with a point down grip like this, I'm more likely stabbing myself than anything else. All Abra has to do is push a hand forward and she's going to return to sender real easy. Number 5, with the point down like this, is really more like if I throw like a jab and fake her. No, you can just raise up. If I feint up here, trap her hand, go for the kidney.
Yeah.
Use this as my nice little sewing machine move. It's let's bring you around this way. If I've got her trapped up here, it's more about reaching from behind. So it's not a question of does it actually work, it's a question of where it actually works.
Usually if you're close in range.
Close range, yeah, so it's definitely going to be range dependent. Not to say that if you're holding a knife and you're just trying to get somebody to back off, that's not a thing you can do. Just be aware that if you turn yourself into a samurai movie, that's not going to be a good day. At least bring it across. 6 is obviously way easier because, again, it opens to close. And she can block that easy too. But if she goes up high... Oh, wait, what did you want to say? I'm so sorry.
Oh, I was saying I can put my hands, like, I'll just let you demonstrate.
Right. She can block, but again, this is another way to do it. So we've got a lot of options with this tool. It's a tool, it's a weapon, and it really is part of the philosophy behind Saga Action Arts is that if we teach you the lines, take them home and play with them and show us something cool that you came up with. It's an open source system, and it's designed for choreography, which means you have the right and the encouragement to be creative.
Play with it.
As long as you're safe. Don't be doing this with a live blade, please.
Not yet.
Use an SNR Tactical knife from SNR Tactical. Ah!
SNR Tactical.
They're really tactical. So, definitely appreciate you all going over Saga S series and the Rolls Rex. Thanks so much. Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you, Wendy.
You are such a baller. You are such a badass.
We love you.
She was here for all 3 sessions today.
Yeah.
Woo!
And we are doing a private session on Saturday.
Awesome. And if you'd like to get a private session set up with Abra or I, hit us up with a message or an email at sagaactionarts@gmail.com and let us know that you'd like your own private session over Zoom, Facebook, Skype, whatever we can use to get that information to you. Last little bit of questions. We're at 8:07. We would love to finish this up by 8:10 if possible. So if you have anything left to ask, if you have anything left to say, let us know. In the meantime, I'm going to do my typical little, help us out little speech. We are just building our community. We are giving all this content away. Oh my God, that's a block of text, Brian. I will get to it, I promise. We're giving all this material away for free right now because, you know what? Don't know what the future holds, but we're really happy with what we've created and we just want to share it with everybody. We had a wonderful comment from a friend on Instagram who said, or actually it was on Facebook, Roland said that this material is like taking, I'm not quoting him, I'm paraphrasing, taking like martial arts building blocks and putting them together to create better story and better movement for our performers, and he nailed it. We shared it in our Facebook story. Thank you, Roland. Is it Roland or Ronald? I think it's Roland. I really hope it's Roland. I think it's Roland like a gunslinger. Anyways, thank you for the encouragement and for seeing what we're going for. We're trying to give real practical skill and strength back to the performing artist and give fun and creativity to the martial artist. So, what is Brian saying?
No, you were doing it palm out to your right, almost like a Screamer 1, angle 6. I was wondering if that guard starts on your open right side and finishes on your BH side.
I have a great way of answering this question with a question. Brian, could you please send us a video of what you're talking about, and I promise I will get back to it. Because you and I both know our brains are mush, but if you send me a quick video, we will answer the question with a video.
You're saying that the guard, my palm is out on the guard, and then as opposed to, so if it's.
Oh, we were talking about that.
We were talking about that. It is context specific.
Send us a video, Brian. I will give you all the answers. So
I like to do it. I tend to like just to do it like this and go into my redondo.
Yeah, it changes, maybe. Anyways. Last thing that we'd like to say, of course, we are down to make personalized content for you if you would like to learn any specific move, if you'd like to have any more of an in-depth tutorial, or, again, if you'd like a private lesson with us, please hit us up and schedule it. The last thing that we're going to say is that, no, we are not asking for money or anything right now. However, no one has said that rent will not be due in New York City yet. So if you do want to help us out and support the show, we are using the space to build a studio and build an office so that we can create more content, not just martial arts videos and training tutorials, also some entertainment. We want to build some more informative series where we're talking about martial arts or where we're talking about movies and where we're giving away the ideas that we have about action. We want to share this with you. We want to create a creative community. If you'd like to help us out, we have a Venmo account that's at DC Stunt Coalition, because we're using the old business for that one, because it was made for that one.
Current business too, it's still our business.
And then hopefully by next week, we'll have a website up on a very popular subscription site that will allow you to sign up for us if you'd like to support what we do.
Can I say the name of it?
No, not yet. Let's save that for later.
They're gonna figure it out.
They will figure it out. That's the point. We're treating them like mature adults that have working brains, unlike us. So, thank you all for training with us tonight. This has been Saga Live Skill Development Session number 4, day 4. We will see you for day 5.
On Friday.